Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. In this video, we've got damage control coming after Gabby's interview post Dancing with the Stars Monday night, where she offered some information about her relationship, or lack thereof, with Erich. Now, we know that they got engaged on Bachelorette and have had their own sort of issues after the engagement. You know, not necessarily with their relationship, but the surrounding world at large. So, what she said on Monday night, although in the moment didn't seem like a big deal, once analyzed, we realized very troubling information. We're going to get into what she said, but more importantly, this conversation is about the damage control that is going down by the press that is run and operated by the Bachelor producers and their ties into Dancing with the Stars. Basically, the press junkets, what's allowed to be asked? Well, now we're being told no more questions about The Bachelor. Let's not talk about that, which probably means there will be some sort of statement once the Dancing with the Stars is over, if they are broken up. So let's get into it. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'll be live on Patreon for private behind-the-scenes bonus content at patreon.com/Dave Neal. Now, I was told that there was a shout-out that we received on She's All Batch. Let's have a listen.
Is probably the worst way you could answer a question like that, besides literally saying, no, we're breaking up.
Yeah. So I was listening to Bachelor Rush Hour with Dave Neal, his new podcast. Go check it out.
Yes.
And he had the clip of what Gabby said.
All right. So, hey, thank you for the shout out from She's All Batch. Of course, one of my favorite podcasts, independently produced. The two ladies over at She's All Batch, Jackie and Stephanie, doing great work over there. Glad they checked out my podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour, which is live every single day. It's free. Link in the comment section. We're now on Google Podcasts. We finally got approved. It took a little while there. Bachelor Rush Hour, all the day's news tied in for you guys on your commute home. All right, let's get into this story. I thought it was very interesting the way Alex on Bachelor in Paradise described the lack of success that goes down with these couples. Of course, this is a good lead into the potential news that Gabby and Erich might not have made it past the first few weeks of their post-Bachelorette bliss. Have a listen to what Alex said.
Speaking, only about 2 of these couples would stay together. So if I was a gambling man, I would say they're not a good match.
So he said, for all the Bachelor in Paradise couples, he said, statistically, only 2 of them are going to stay together. Actually, it's probably worse than that over time. Last year, there was 2 or 3 engagements. We know Riley didn't make it too far. We had a couple make it to the altar. But yeah, statistically, not a good look, right? So Sarah Heron from Us Weekly made a article here. Gabby Windy hints at taking space from Erich after ditching her engagement ring. What I love about Sarah is that she has a behind-the-scenes look at how the media is run that works with the Bachelor producers, because the media needs them, they need the media. It's kind of like a give and take. Sarah, working at Us Weekly, gets to interview a lot of the contestants, and then of course we get to watch her interview the contestants. As far as you guys know, I've asked to interview Clayton Echard about his mental health. I've asked to interview Michael A. about recovering from losing his loved one. I've asked to have all these interviews, and I've been not just denied, but they haven't even responded to me. So I'm just like the jilted lover who never got a text back from the Bachelor producers. So I'm at that part in the relationship where the bridges are burned. I think they're doing a terrible job, and I don't have to worry about keeping relationships with them. But Sarah does. So we got into a lot of that in our conversation we had yesterday on Sarah's podcast, Here for the Right Reasons. I have to tell you, I think she does a fabulous job talking and interviewing these contestants and maintaining these relationships. I just couldn't do it. She's so good at what she does. So within this conversation, she gives us a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to ask these questions, how the press or the PR people are usually near them and will tell them what to answer, what not to answer. So before I play this clip from my when she interviewed me yesterday on Here for the Right Reasons podcast, let's just have a quick listen to what Gabby actually said before we discuss it.
Your fiance, are you guys still together?
We're still together.
How's everything going?
Yeah, I think life is just really busy for the both of us right now. So I understand their concern, but we're just kind of, going forward with each of our individual interests and supporting each other from afar.
Which sounds like a nice pageantry answer here, but of course, the reading between the lines here, I mean, it doesn't take a Bachelor Nation genius to understand. Yikes! You know, he hasn't been there for the last 3 weeks, this and that. So here's what Sarah had to say in our conversation. Go check out the whole podcast interview. I had a fantastic chat with her. We covered everything. I mean, we really covered everything, but here's just a quick clip from what we had to say about Erich and Gabby and how these interviews go down.
Definitely not. And I did want to touch on the Gabby and Erich of it all, because I'm sure you saw the clip from her Dancing with the Stars
Good audio.
interview in which she was asked by Fox News, which is interesting. So normally the Dancing with the Stars junkets, I've been on them, you're usually in like a big room with a bunch of outlets on Zoom. So it's rare to be individually, like an outlet gets a chance to ask a question. So like Us Weekly it'll be like 4 minutes, and Us Weekly will get one question. E! News will get a question. Page 6 will get a question. And it's quick, and everyone kind of shares the footage. But like if you ask the question, you can mark it exclusive kind of thing. But with this, she was holding the Fox News microphone, and it looked like she was they were asking her specifically. No one really picked up on this right away. So I thought that was interesting one. But they asked her straight up, are you still together? Because she hasn't been wearing the ring. By
the way, she says no one picked up on this, which I think what Sarah was implying is that how did they let this get out? This wasn't shot live. This wasn't aired live. So how if this, like, how did they just let this fly? It was a terrible answer.
And instead of just saying yes, she gave this kind of weird, which it's very Gabby, I feel like, to not want to lie, but also then to kind of put herself in like a talking in circles situation. And she is, I think, a very genuine human. But she said, life is just really busy for both of us right now. So I understand their concern, but we're just kind of, going forward with our individual interests and supporting each other from afar. So I think the big thing there is that the question was, are you still together? And there's no yes in that. But I also know that she was asked that, and then other press was told no questions about The Bachelor. So there was kind of some damage control being done there, from what I understand.
So yeah, that's the part that's interesting, that she was told, the press was told, no further questions about The Bachelor. Now, of course, this you would think makes perfect sense, but this one got snuck by. This isn't this isn't Barbara Walters here in 2020. It's like, all right, it's a step above TMZ, but it like she was saying, these press junkets, a lot of people asking a lot of questions. Publicist might have gone to get a cup of coffee. She comes back and it's like, what did you say? And here we go.
So what was your take of this comment?
Oh yeah, I mean, if that was a pre-recorded podcast, the publicist comes in and says, "Cut that out, cut that out." That's just and I don't even think it was live TV, right? But it was live enough that
it's crazy. Those Dancing with the Stars post-show interviews are like a mad dash. So there's not. Who knows if a publicist was even listening to that one, because it's like there's 1,000 in a row. But yeah, you're right.
And if the publicist is 5 feet behind, they don't pick up on it. But of course, our trusty Bachelor audience is like, whoa. And again, like everything, I'm the first to be like, oh, this is nothing, because we had so many videos about Zach and Tayshia. And like, you can, every single lead, there are going to be videos about, are they broken up yet? Rachel and Matt, every single time. So that you kind of, you almost don't want to be the boy who cries wolf, but this is like, okay, this is something that, like, he hasn't been on the show in 3 weeks. We know he's in town. We know he's got nothing better to do. They both seem like good people trying their best. I know that there's a segment of our audience that doesn't want to give them any grace whatsoever. Yeah. But I look forward to hearing them both talk more candidly on podcasts about all of the sort of different things that were thrown into the mix.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? Just to cut myself off here. Dave, you're always interrupting. Well, does it count if I'm interrupting myself? So, by the way, my audio is good. Sometimes, the final uploaded audio is not it's a little tinny there. Not her fault, not mine, just the podcast hosting. A little tinny on my audio. Boy, they call me Tinny Tim. All right, folks. But sometimes I gotta make myself laugh. It's a long week. So yeah, the show ends and Tino and Rachel's love story is over. But this is why people stick around, because Gabby and Erich's love story is not over. And if it is, we haven't gotten those final interviews. So without putting any extra pressure on them by DMing them or doing whatever, we're just like on the park bench watching watching some drama go down across the street, right? We're like, oh, this doesn't involve us, but this is interesting. And look, they'll both be fine. I know there was a post about Erich that I'm not going to share because it was a little nutty, but someone had found all the recent accounts that Erich had followed, and it was like 20 different accounts that work heavily with influencers. It was like, the green tea companies, all the different influencer companies. So it was a thought that maybe he's starting to follow all these influencer accounts because he needs to start making money, as in maybe he's off on his own doing his own thing. It's a very big leap, and I have no problem with people wanting to make their money however they want to make it. Not a problem whatsoever. So that's why I'm not reporting on that story so much as just commenting on people are looking into the relationship, looking for evidence that it is over.
The season. I mean, his dad just died.
Yeah.
And she was a intensive care nurse. So she's dealt with end of life, and like, what a beautiful story that she got to meet his father. And there's such a beautiful story there that if they can't make it work because she's on a dancing show, obviously it would be more than that. But you do only have so many hours in the day. Yeah. And it could be a scenario where like the spark just didn't get the proper fuel to go to that next level. And
all right, well, that's it. You can go listen to the whole 50-minute interview where we cover all of the topics there. But I did want to promote Sarah's podcast. She's in a very unique place, Sarah, because she gets a very close look at how the show runs and is not under contract so much with the Bachelor show, but obviously she has to maintain some working integrity with Us Weekly as they have close relationships with Bachelor. So I wouldn't want to be in her position because I would probably not be able to say half the junk that comes out of my mouth, but I do love talking to her. I felt like we were two professors, getting in the break room discussing our the problem kids. We're like, oh yeah, is Johnny still giving you a problem in geometry? Oh yeah, but Victoria in biology, she's really causing an issue. Okay, so anyway, that's the damage control. Let me know what you guys think. More content coming your way.